boyfriend anymore. When he was your boyfriend, your family was planning on a trip to Aruba, and you wanted to take your boyfriend with you. When was the trip planned? In what month?
February.
This past February.
That's correct.
And you and Mr. Katz broke up in what month?
Beginning of March of this year.
Well, then why didn't he go with you to Aruba?
Aruba is happening on July 20th to 27th.
Oh, just a sec. So it's not happening until July.
That's correct.
I thought it was happening in February. I couldn't figure out your dates. So it hasn't happened yet. It's in July.
Yes.
And you broke up in February or March?
March.
You broke up with him or he broke up with you?
I broke up with him. He cheated on me.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
19. And how old are you?
19.
19. You don't want him to go on the trip.
Not at all.
So what's he supposed to do with the ticket?
He can use it as a credit and go anywhere he'd like until next year of April.
And what about you?
I'm still going on the trip.
No, I know you are still going on the trip. Can you use the ticket?
The ticket is non-refundable and it's non-transferable, so if I wanted to bring anybody else, I can't because it's only in his name.
I'd like to see that.
Sure. It's right over here. Bank statements.
Okay. It says non-refundable, non-transferable. You can change the itinerary and a fee may be charged. Now, you broke up with him, rendering it impossible for him to go on the trip with you.
That's correct.
What do you want him to do?
But
you want him to go?
no, nothing is free though, so I shouldn't be able to suffer the consequences because he's the one who messed up. The $770 came out of my bank account, and he agreed to be going on this trip.
He agreed to go. He'll go.
And he agreed to pay it
Just
also.
a second. He'll go. You broke up with him. You don't want him to go on this trip with you, right?
That's correct.
Right.
But if his intentions were never pay in the first place,
How do I know that his intentions were never to pay in the first place?
I mean, he shouldn't have agreed to come if he wasn't going to pay.
That's not, we're talking, the trip isn't until July. You don't want him to go. You broke up with him, and yet you want him to pay for the ticket.
The ticket's in his name.
You made the reservation.
I invited him to come, and he agreed to coming, knowing that he had to pay for it. He agreed to pay for it.
He would still go, except you don't want him to go with your family.
He can take it and go anywhere else he'd like.
I can't make his vacation plans. When she discussed going with you on vacation with her family to Aruba, tell me what the conversation was.
Her and her family asked me to go on a family vacation with all of her cousins to Aruba, and I agreed to join them. There was no, will you pay it? The price is this. I wasn't told the price until after we had broken up.
How many people were going to Aruba?
8.
Mr. Katz says that there was never any discussion of him paying. He was invited to go with your family.
That's not correct. We were in my room. My mom was there with me, and she discussed everything.
Don't tell me what your mom discussed with him. That's hearsay.
Gotcha. I invited him. I said, you can come if you'd like. All you have to do is pay the $770, all inclusive, and he agreed to do that. And he had up until the next month, end of the month, to pay, and he knew all of that.
I don't care what he knew. My problem is that you broke up. Your family is going, which means he can't go. And I'm just thinking about how an invitation, when you say, I invited him to go, you invited him to go and pay.
Well, I invited him to come with me, but that doesn't mean that he gets a free trip.
Why not?
That's with any invitation anywhere.
No, that's not. Was dating a guy, and she wanted him to come, and he was a student. You are a student. My family would say, listen, let him come. You'll have a good time with him there, and we'll pay. That's really not unreasonable.
I mean, my family wasn't going to pay just for anybody to come.
He's not just anybody. He was your boyfriend. Do you go to school?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So, and you both go to school. Do you
Yes.
work? It's not an answer. Do you go to school? The answer is yes. Where do you go to school?
Hofstra. I'm a student athlete.
So you go to Hofstra and you don't work.
Yes.
And where do you go to school?
I go to Suffolk right now, community college.
And do you work?
No.
Were you working in February?
No.
When you were dating her, were you working?
No.
How was he supposed to pay for a ticket?
He was working, and then he got fired from the pizzeria.
That's not true.
Sorry, your case is dismissed.